So the piece that you're going to listen to is by Alexander Scriabin, and it is Prelude Opus 11 number 10. And all I can say is I am really loving Scriabin. This is my first time ever playing him. And he's a Russian composer. He's a contemporary of Rachmaninoff. They actually studied together at the Moscow Conservatory, and they actually graduated together in 1892. And they were also companions, even though their musical style was very different. And Rachmaninoff was a pallbearer at Scriabin's funeral in 1915. Scriabin was a very interesting Russian composer, mostly influenced by Chopin and Tchaikovsky, and you can hear kind of nuances of sort of those composers in his music. And he died, unfortunately, of blood poisoning in 1915. Apparently he had something on his lip that went septic, and he died. But he was a really interesting guy. Some fun facts: he built pianos and was fascinated by piano mechanisms, and a lot of times the pianos that he built he gave away to his house guests. He had something called synesthesia, and that's a condition where people associate unrelated ideas with sort of sensory experiences. And he composed a symphonic work with a color organ that played like a piano, but it actually projected light. So, I mean, he was like way ahead of his time. He had a lot of mystic chords in his music, and he also had those types of chords in his orchestral music. Let's see, what else can I tell you about him? He was interesting enough. Apparently he was pretty popular in his day when he was actually alive, but when he died he kind of fell off the radar. Not sure why. Rachmaninoff was very popular even after his death, but I think people maybe considered Scriabin's music to be more experimental, so he didn't have like a hugely wide audience. He used a lot of different sort of complex harmonies and unusual chord progressions in his music. He had a famous piece called The Poem of Fire, Prometheus, which has gotten a lot of great recognition. But now I think people are starting to play him more. One of the pianist that played him quite often was Horowitz, and you can find a lot of recordings of Horowitz playing Scriabin. Anyhow, this is my version of Scriabin's Prelude Opus 11 number 10. I hope you enjoy.